welcome to this episode by The Earthen One. And The Earthen One is this amazing platform that I get to use, and so can all of you, where we can share information that's of collective benefit to all of us, especially around plant based eating and all the wellness for us and for the world around us that will come from plant based eating. Thank you for being here. Just a few quick announcements. First is that if you have questions, please type them on the chat window. We will pick them up at the end of the session and ask Sai all your questions. They will get answered. The second is that we have a lovely session again next Saturday. It's all about salad making and other such foods by Jaya Rai, who runs the very famous Granny's Bowl. With that, and without much ado, we begin with today's guest. Hello, Sai.
Hi, Nitya.
Such a pleasure meeting you again, Sai. I've had the blessing of having known you for a very long time now, and I've also had the opportunity to work with you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak to everybody today. If I think of one person who is really living a wholesome, well, fit, and happy life, I think you were one of the first people to come to mind. So we're here today to learn about where all this comes from. What is your secret? Is it really difficult to live like this and all of that? So we're going to start with your journey and a summary of your history. It's going to be very useful for the viewers to have that context. So there was a time not too long ago, maybe about 8-10 years ago, where you had really bad back pain. You were overweight. I don't know how that can be that you could have been overweight, because the only way I have seen you is as you are right now. You had high cholesterol. Your husband was showing hypothyroidism, and you were just not in a good place of fitness and health. You were wanting to run, hike, do all kinds of fun things that people in their 30s do. And you're feeling very limited by your body conditions. You were having an IT kind of life, so it was somewhat sedentary, and you were eating food like most of us do. Now, I just want to share some context before, Sai, you begin with your journey, because we all already understand that going vegan helps, but what many don't understand is going whole food plant-based is really the key to good health. And what you're going to talk to us about is next level whole food plant-based. So that is the context of the entire session. Why don't I let you take it over and you tell us?
Sure, Nitya. Thank you for that lovely introduction. And I'm so happy to be here with you. As you said, we know each other for a long time. So let me start by sharing how this all started. You have already explained that I was in very bad health. My kids used to fall sick, and I was working in IT. I was mindless about my movement and body posture. That's when, and I was also, yes, I was overweight, almost 18 kgs. After 1 year of delivering my second child also. And at that time, I had tried all possible diets, which were very popular at that time, including eating every 2 hours, counting the calories, and hitting the gym and working out. And all that resulted into my L3, L4, L4, L5 disc bulge. And as a result, doctors advised me to take complete bed rest. And that's when we started thinking about it. That was not the life we both, me and my husband, wanted to lead. We had quite a few dreams, as you said. I wanted to participate in a triathlon, and I also wanted to grow my vegetables, but it was just not possible. Fortunately, I met a plant-based nutritionist at that time, and she guided me through whole food plant-based regime, which we decided to give it a try for 3 months. So we are like, let us give it a try, see if it changes anything, and then we will decide. And fortunately, within 3 months, the cholesterol started showing the downturn. My husband's hypothyroidism also was almost in the range. And gradually, I started losing weight without worrying about how much I'm eating. That was the biggest advantage for me. You don't count. Nobody's telling you reduce half a chapati, reduce half a katori of rice, right? So I was very happy with that, and we made that transition along with our children. So my kids at that time were 5 and 8, and I checked with my pediatrician, of course, because I had a lot of fears. They were in their growing age, so what about calcium, what about increasing height and all that? But she just showed us green signal. She told, you are on the track, just go for it. So with whole food plant based getting introduced in our lifestyles, most of the problems on the paper also got resolved within 1.5 years. And that's how I started telling my yoga students around, and we started following this lifestyle change with respect to food. For almost 4 to 5 years, there were no issues. Everything was going on smoothly. But then the time came when I started feeling that I need to know more about it. I'm not very content and satisfied with what I'm doing, because sometimes I used to get stressed. Sometimes I used to get obsessed about food. Sometimes if I am not able to, follow the plant-based guidelines 100%, I used to feel guilty. And it was little bit complicated, for everyone make their own food, which they like at home. And fortunately, at that time, I got introduced to Nature Cure as a philosophy. And
okay, so I'm going to stop you right there, because this
yes,
is a good time to reflect on the few conversations we've already had. Now, some of you want to go back and look at the videos that we've had before. We met Namu and Vivek. Vivek is an elite cyclist. Namu is also into fitness. Last week we met Ajitesh, who, as you all saw, is really a Spider-Man. All of them have benefited greatly from just being on a whole food plant-based diet. And Sai, you just clarified again that just being on that whole food plant-based diet had already taken you out of your cholesterol issues, your thyroid issues, your back problems, your weight loss. All of that had been addressed, right? So this is where now, for this episode, we are going to find the interesting part of the journey, where you already came into whole food plant-based diet, but you took it to that next level. And that's where this whole concept of nature cure that you had experienced comes in, right? Go ahead with that context.
yes. So before I talk anything about Nature Cure, I just want to make sure that I don't call myself Nature Cure expert or anything like that. I want to be called as an educator, because I'm still learning and it's a lifelong journey. So I take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude to each and every mentor who has given me so much, and I'm learning from them. So with that, let me tell you, when I attended this Nature Cure camp, just out of curiosity, okay, just wanted to see what happens there. It was a 7-day residential camp in Pollachi with Dr. Arun Sharma. And then I realized that food, what I was thinking of as food, was just 1/5 of the complete food spectrum that we can look at. So there I realized that our bodies are made up of 5 elements. So we can get food from all these 5 elements. Not only we can get, we should get food from all those 5 elements, incorporate in our lifestyle to get the holistic benefit. So food from earth is what whole food plant-based diet is all about, right? We get it from earth, the nuts, grains, seeds, fruits, vegetables. But then there is food from fire, that is sunbathing, sun gazing, sun basking, food from water, food from air, one of the practices pranayam, and food from space, which introduced me to the science of fasting. And once I started adding all these 5-fold foods to my diet, to my lifestyle, I realized that it is very simple. I don't have to complicate things, looking at it as only food from earth, which is going to give me all the benefits. And you see, nowadays so many research papers get published. If you have caffeine, it's good for your brain. If you have dark chocolate, maybe it'll improve your concentration. You, for vitamin K, you should have this. Vitamin C or A, you should have this. So then I realized that was the reductionist approach of looking at food. It need not be so complicated. I realized this only after attending the Nature Cure camp. And lot of my cooking time also reduced. That was the best thing, because when I was on a whole food plant-based diet, I was just replacing my earlier diet with plant-based products. So if I was consuming, say, cornflakes with dairy milk in the morning as breakfast, I just started using coconut milk or almond milk, right? And for lunch, it was just again replacement of animal products with plant products. And evening snack, I used to make oil-free onion pakoras and baked samosas and whatnot, and muffins, all those things. But after attending Nature Cure camp, I realized I understood some concept called as vitality or energy force, which we all have. And the whole idea of sustainable health is to go on conserving that vitality or conserving that energy. So just now I explained about the food, the inputs, five-fold foods, but on top of that, even our actions and our thoughts, they are taking chunk of our energy, right? We are spending or engaging our vitality in all these activities as well as our thoughts. So if you have to go for the optimum health which you can achieve as a the highest potential being a human being, you have to take care of all these activities which are draining our life force or energy. If you want, I can just give you one example. Just to
go ahead. Yeah.
I can't hear you, Nitya. I have lost you.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Sure. So just maybe take one example. I have, say, 100 units of energy. By birth, I have 100 units of energy. It depends on my genetic composition, and so many things will decide how much that vitality I'll have by birth. And say you also have, for example, 100 units of energy. So we both have 100 units of vitality. Now, depending on what I eat, how I act, my physical activities, including rest, how I do not act, I mean take rest, and how I think, out of these 100 units, say I'm spending only 50 units of vitality. Only 50 units are getting engaged because I'm consuming easy to digest food, which is fruits and vegetables. So I'm having breakfast as fruits, and I'm just generalizing and assuming that you are having breakfast as idli sambar chutney. So you are spending 30 units of vitality on digesting that idli sambar to give you the nutrition. And I'm spending only 10 units of vitality to digest my breakfast, which is fruits. So I end up having 20 units of extra free vitality with me than you. This goes same with activities and thinking pattern, right? If I am taking a lot of efforts in making sure that every day I'm catching the drama, that is, spirit of thoughts, and maybe there are a lot of highs and lows. If I'm taking care of that and trying to be neutral, then I'm not spending a lot of vitality on that. If I'm doing mindful movement and I'm also making sure that I'm taking rest every day at the correct time according to my body rhythm, I'm saving again a lot of vitality, as compared to some person who is not paying attention to thinking right, moving right, resting right, along with eating right. Then that person is going to spend a lot of vitality and he's going to end up having very less vitality. Now, what do you mean by less vitality? That is the indication of health. Like when I wake up in the morning, I feel so ready for the day. I feel, give me any project, I'm going to do that. Tell me to run 10 kilometers, I'm ready. Tell me to teach 5 classes someday as an exception, I'll teach it energetically. So from where I am getting that energy? That is the free energy, or that is the energy I'm saving by making sure that I do all the other activities mindfully, right? So this is the definition. Yeah.
So this is very, very interesting. So if I can summarize, and am I audible enough, Ruchi or Rashi, if you can confirm if you can hear me?
Yes, you are.
All right, wonderful. So if I can summarize, Sai, I mean, this is mind-blowing in its simplicity, as well as its, as a fact, the point that we don't operate like this. So if I can repeat what you said, you're saying that food is not just what we put in our mouth. We already got, all of us, over the last few sessions and with all of our awareness, that whole food, plant-based diet as a food of what we eat is great to eat. But what you said is there's other things that we put into us, things like fasting is also an experience that the body gets. It's also an input, or the sun is also an input. And then separate from all of these inputs that we have, you named 4 or 5, and we will definitely list them for other people watching. You also said that how you think, how you sleep, how you move, all of this adds up to your overall well-being. So if we were to summarize it, we're going to say, just, counting macros, looking at calcium numbers, looking at protein numbers, all of that, and then saying, hey, I've been eating and ticking all the check boxes on all of this. Now I should be in perfect health. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. You got to have all of these other aspects also going for you to do that. Wow, Sai, I mean, that is amazing. How do you, so can you walk us through your day and tell us both from a food perspective as well as implementing all of this? How is that working for you? I mean, it seems too perfect. It feels very daunting from my perspective. Will I ever get there? I know, for example, you helped me get to fruit eating for breakfast, right? I've done that 7-day course with you, and then the 14-day course with you again. It helped me break a 40-year cycle on bad eating. So luckily, I don't eat idli sambar in the morning, lovely as it is. But I understand the implications of it. Why don't you walk us through a day of yours and tell us how you live it?
Sure. So as I told you, let me stress it again that it has been a journey. It's not like I attended Nature Care camp, I came back home, and from day one, I was a changed person with changed routine. It didn't happen that way. It's been almost 2 years, and I'm part of a community. So it becomes very easy when you have like-minded people with you. Every day morning on WhatsApp, you are checking what, you get to see what they are eating, or they are sunbathing, or they are having their alkaline juice. So first of all, it is not very difficult if you have a like-minded community. And luckily, because now everything is online, there are so many WhatsApp groups and so many ways to stay connected with these people. Maybe many of the Nature Care people stay in farms or stay in villages, but everybody is using WhatsApp. So first of all, that was the thing, that it was a journey. So let me just tell you my routine. First thing I learned is do not put an alarm, okay, in the morning. If you can wake up without an alarm, okay, that is great, because that shows that you have had enough sleep and your body is telling you now get up. So that means I cannot have any pressing routine at 5 o'clock in the morning, because I just have to leave it to nature to wake me up, right? And I go to sleep on time. And then when I wake up, I start a day with some kind of alkaline juice, either cucumber juice or ash gourd juice or tender coconut water. And then I do my self-care practices. So I do my meditation. I'm learning to meditate. I have my yoga sessions at the time. And then I go for my breakfast. So my breakfast is generally monofruit breakfast. This also I learned during Nature Cure, that each fruit has a different digestion time. So why do you want to confuse your gut and again drain more vitality? So if you can have monofruit breakfast, that is great. Again, this can't happen overnight. Okay, slowly you can have 2 fruits and then only 1 fruit, and if needed have some coconut with it or some dried fruits with it, right? So that is my monofruit breakfast. That happens at around 9:30, 10 once I finish all my yoga classes. And then I do my work, my clean eating work. And whenever I am keenly hungry, okay, keen hunger is something which we should observe according to Nature Cure, because keen hunger means your body is ready to accept food. It's not because it is 12 o'clock I should have my lunch. Someday it can be 1 o'clock, it can be 2 o'clock. So when you're keenly hungry, I have my cooked meal generally as lunch. And my cooked meal, again, I try to keep it balanced. 1/4 portion coming from grains, 1/4 portion coming from legumes, 1/4 from vegetables, steamed or cooked vegetables, conservatively cooked vegetables, and 1/4 from raw vegetables. That is how generally I have my lunch. it is simple lunch. Now because I'm in Bangalore for the last 15 years, generally I have South Indian type of rasam, sambar, or something like that. I keep a variety of grains. So one day roti, one day jawar roti, one day ragi roti or upma. Because I don't have breakfast, generally I some days I also have my breakfast items as cooked meal like idli, dosa. And then again I have my yoga sessions, and then I in between I do pranayam before every meal. And by sunset, so I finish my routine by 6 o'clock, my yoga sessions by 6 p.m. And generally by 6:37 I have my third meal of the day, which is, I try to keep it grain free. Most of the days I can do that, but some days if I get tempted to eat cooked food, I have my cooked meal. Otherwise I have salads with some dips, or just mixing. Sometimes I have some cooked vegetables, steamed vegetables or boiled vegetables, but I try to avoid rice or chapati in the night. And so by 7:30 I'm done with my dinner, and then I get a lot of time. I generally follow digital detox post 8 p.m. to 2.5 hours before going to sleep. And then by 10 o'clock I go to sleep. So 8 to 10 I spend time with family, reading them stories, playing games and all that. And next day morning generally I wake up without alarm by 5:15. So I forgot about the sunbathing part of it, which happens in the morning as a part of my self-care practices. And it is not so, it's not like every day I follow this, but 5 times a week, I make sure that I'm doing everything like this. And we have a very interesting concept in nature care, which is called as meal for the mind. So throughout the 6 days, I eat meal for my body, but we cannot suppress our mind. So one day, one meal, generally it is Sunday afternoon, I keep it as meal for the mind, and I prepare whatever I feel like, different types of payasam and some dessert and some baked products or cakes, whatever I am craving for maybe, I have it on that day.
Wow, Sai, very interestingly, your food has had a very similar pattern to the previous speakers, Ajitesh as well as Namo and Vivek. And all of them basically spoke about, first of all, you'll notice that there's a dramatic increase in the fruits and vegetables that we're all intaking. And I remember when I was doing the session with you, one of the first things you said was, when you go to the shop, come back with like triple the quantity of fruits and vegetables that you would normally buy in your household. And now I understand, because I noticed that in your lunch meal, for example, the main compartment was full of the vegetables and the small compartment had the grain, which is very interesting. Very similar to the other speakers, Ajitesh as well as Namo and Vivek. All of them had a very similar kind of pattern, and probably there are a few differences in the details. For example, you're very particular about monofruit, and some of the others are not as particular about monofruit. The other thing is, I think Namo and Vivek had a salad for lunch, but you have your salad for the evening meal. Now, you did mention pranayam also. Do you do that before the meal, or is it in the morning, or how does that work?
So, see, when we are consuming meal, we also try to follow something called as mindful eating, right? And in order to be mindful about what I am eating, I need to slow down. Unless I slow down, not only physically I have to sit at one place, but even mentally I have to detach from whatever I was thinking about. Because sometimes if I'm stressed too much, then I will end up overeating. Generally that happens, right? We are driven by our emotions. So to take care of that, in nature care, we have this practice of practicing pranayam 15 to 20 minutes before every meal. The idea is, yes, you get benefits of the pranayam, and you also slow down and make yourself ready for the food that you are going to eat. So generally I practice pranayam before meal, but Nadi Shuddhi pranayama is something like which you can practice even after the meal. It aids digestion.
Okay, wonderful. Now, when I see this, when you speak about it, you wonder if the food is going to be boring, all day, you're just eating basically just cut fruits and vegetables is the mental feeling that you get. But then when you see these foods, actually, I realize that it's quite exciting. I mean, I can feel a salivation. And I recollect that when I gave up dairy, etc., at first it used to feel like, oh my God, what kind of life is this? So no pizza, no ice cream, no coffee as I know it, no curd rice as I know it, etc. And very soon after that, it actually did not have any appeal for me at all. I mean, last thing I see now when I see that is any kind of craving or attraction. Is it the same for you that now when you see foods that are, if I may use the same word you use, I feel this is full of vitality, right?
Yeah.
Would you say it's the same with you, that you also feel a sense of joy when you see wholesome food like this?
It's very true, and that I experience. Suppose one day I go out and just forget about everything, and if I eat my meal for the mind, say full course, something fried starters and heavily laden desserts, then I am just craving for fruits the next day. I mean, I just can't eat my next meal. I skip my next meal because it makes me so heavy and sluggish. But as far as taste is concerned, our taste buds by birth, actually, we are programmed to like all the natural tastes of fruits and vegetables, right? But what happens is, even though when we are children, we are babies, we are introduced to sugar. If a baby is crying, give him sugar, right? And that way, slowly the manipulation of taste buds happen, and over the time we stop liking anything where we have not added combination of salt, sugar, or oil. We want something which has that addictive combination. And we know that all the packaged food industries are paying so much of money in their research lab to get that addictive combination. So as a result, we don't like that. But when you start de-addicting yourself from all these additives, like processed food, refined flours, refined sugars, refined oil, refined salt, and dairy products, slowly your taste buds bounce back. And I have seen it, like my children also, many times they go out and attend birthday parties and eat a lot of things, but once they come back, my daughter just declares that, I want to be on fruits tomorrow, enough of whatever food she had. So that happens automatically, but for that you need to slow down and really get connected with what you like and what you don't like, which is the first step, I guess, because we just keep eating what is tasty. And we are conditioned to eat a lot of sweets during festivals, a lot of fried food as a part of celebration. If we are inviting something, there has to be some dessert with a lot of sugar. I mean, that is how it is. But just to tell you an example, in my community, we celebrate Diwali and we visit each and every house and to taste the food that they have made. And I have just declared that we have to start from my house, because you will be getting fruits and a lot of dried fruits and laddus, but they all like it. Or sometimes they feel that why are we eating all these so much of fried food? I just want to eat fruits. So I think it is just the way we condition
I
ourselves.
see.
Yeah.
So Sai, one of the motivators for us, initially at least, when it seems initially like a daunting task, but maybe a motivator can be to hear you tell us what is the big difference you're feeling in your body compared to how you were eating whole food plant-based diet. And just to address one question that came by, someone asked, is Nature Cure also dairy free? Which I understand it is. It's dairy free and all animal free.
Yes.
What is the difference in bodily feeling between how you were before and how you are now?
Between the whole food plant-based diet and
Whole food plant-based diet, and then this
Nature Cure.
focus on the vitality aspects.
Yes. So I would say when I was on whole food plant-based diet, my charts or my test reports were normal. Okay, everything was under control. I could manage my cholesterol. It was under everything. My back pain was started to improve, but I was not so energetic. I mean, just to tell you the truth, that my family members also feel the difference now. The way I think, the way I express. For example, in whole food plant-based diet, I wanted everybody to change. because I was just thinking food is what everyone should focus on. In the community also, I used to go around telling about, convert to whole food plant-based diet. But that was draining my vitality. That's what I realized later after getting introduced to Nature Pure. And then I learned so many other things. Of course, with respect to food, it is only fruits for breakfast. So I'm so energetic. I don't feel sluggish. I remember in whole food plant-based diet, even after having aloo paratha or idli or dosa, I used little bit dip in the energy, at least for next 1.5 hours. And that used to happen after every meal, because I never used to have so many fruits and vegetables. It was always grain rich food. So I feel so much more energetic. Even on whole food plant-based diet, by 7:38, I was like, I have to end. I can't do anything, even can't read books to my children. But now it's not like that. From 5 to whatever 10 in the night, I'm just on. And I feel very calm and relaxed at the background. I'm not at all disturbed by all these reports and whatever comes in the newspaper, because that used to really put a lot of pressure. No, when people ask you where are you getting your vitamin K from, then I have to do the research of where I'm getting, which foods I should include, or something like that. Now it's very
So
simple.
much more
Don't
stress.
worry.
Yeah, aligned with nature is how you're living your life now, the best you
So
can in the city environment that we have. Yeah.
yes. So we always say don't check. We means my mentor always says don't check your body, check your habits. So once you start checking your habits and fine tuning your habits, the bodily symptoms just disappear. You don't eat food for diabetes, you don't eat special food for heart disease, because whatever you are eating is getting everywhere, it's reaching each and every organ. So how can you eat differently for different disease? There is a unity theory, right? So you just don't have to worry about
The
all
disease
these
aspect. Just
things.
eat right, right. So now tell me, Sai, has there been any improvement in people's diseases that you may have come across or your mentors may have come across because of this nature cure?
Of course. I mean, yeah, so I have personally worked with people, like we don't call it as curing your disease. We just focus on improving health. See, health and disease are two sides of the same coin. When health goes up, the symptoms reduce, right? So instead of focusing on those symptoms, which will anyway vanish when you increase the health. So how we address any person who comes, there is no separate diet, but we tell them how, okay, what are the vitality drains in your life, and then we try to fix those vitality drains at all the possible levels. And when we do that, automatically you start seeing difference yourself. Now weight loss is like a byproduct of following this lifestyle. You just come back to your optimum weight. If you have to gain weight, if see people are underweight because their digestion is not right. So once you improve your digestion, you start gaining weight. Or if you want to lose weight, many times you are eating clean, but you have some stress which is unhandled. The movement is not mindful. You are not resting right. So that portion gets corrected. Then I have personally worked with a lot of digestive issues, like simple and very common issues like acidity, acid reflux, okay, then IBS symptoms, then migraine headaches, which can be a result of so many things, and cholesterol, hormonal imbalances, diabetes. My mentor, Dr. Gauri Rokam, she has worked, I have witnessed, she has worked on many problems, including cancer and severe heart disease, heart blockages. So it is not like we are working on that disease, we are just working on improving the health, and it surely shows results. Now there is no formula. Even in weight gain, weight loss programs, people ask me that how many kgs I'll lose in 3 months. There is no formula. Your body may decide to first fix your hormonal problems and then show it on the weighing scale. This has happened. Like, the rheumatoid arthritis got corrected, the diabetes became normal, but weight was just not moving for 6 months. And once all those imbalances got fixed, then weight started showing. So there is no formula. You just have to focus on health and keep improving your health and just see how body takes the control.
No, I just feel like this makes a lot of sense. It's actually very aligned to nature. It's aligned to circadian rhythm. It's aligned to going back to basics. It actually is removing the complexities. You know, I feel like I don't have to stress so much about, oh, what to have for snack. I don't have to stress so much about what specially to make for dinner. It's go seasonal, go as fresh as you can, as raw as you can, and listen to your body, right?
Yes.
Sort of what I'm hearing from you. This is amazing, Sai. Sai, I know you handhold people to go through the journey so that they can transition. I've benefited from this, and my journey is still ongoing. I certainly revert if you're not watching. So I must be honest and realign myself. We've made a lot of changes in our own household. Um, is there any such session coming up shortly that our viewers should know? So if they want to join, they can join.
Yes, so I used to first conduct 7-day workshop, hand holding people only about food from earth, that is whole food plant-based diet transition. But then after this nature cure understanding and after the feedback from people, we realize 7 days is not enough. By the time you realize something, it's over. So that's when we started with a little longer program, 21-day program, where we have incorporated everything, right from eat right, that is the from whole food plant-based diet, even to the you move on to nature cure guidelines in the last week of the program. Then move right, mindful movement. Being a yoga teacher, I also conduct yoga sessions, including the rest right part, which is yoga nidra, tratak, digital detox. All these things are part of it. And then we also have a think right component to it, where we try to write down our drama and work on the thoughts and come up with affirmations. All this happens early morning, 5:30, some days. So this is the program which happens once every month. And in October, right now, one batch is ongoing. And the next program is planned on 24th of October. Generally, we start on Saturdays, and the group coaching happens Saturday to Saturday. So we meet 4 Saturdays live in a call, and then everything happens on WhatsApp.
Okay, wow. So at the end of this, we will definitely share a method by which people can join you. Now, you know, you have to show us a few recipes because I know you've been on this journey for a while and you have some interesting tips and tricks. So if you think you can do that, meanwhile, I'm going to show people some of your fitness poses and more of what you eat while you get ready to show us that. How about that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we can see, if everybody can see, Sai in all her yoga glory. She is just fit. And those of us who do yoga know that all of these poses are not super easy. And of course, her marathons and triathlons. This is a very interesting photograph of, you know, how just with a little bit of effort, you can see in 3 months, she's able to move from the left to right. Now, this doesn't mean that people who are not on whole food plant-based diets cannot do this. I think we just heard that all of it adds up and it makes things easier. Nice. Lovely. And if I can just show you a little bit more of all the amazing stuff that they eat. There we go. So when they have parties, this is how the food looks. You know, it's just a mindset difference. It's all colorful, different shapes, and the taste is retained. Amazing. Amazing. And I think Sai is just coming back. While feel free to ask your questions either to me or to everyone or to Ruchika, and we will talk about it at the end.
Hi, Nitya.
Yeah, go ahead, Sai.
Yeah, just 1 minute. I can't hear you, but
Can you hear me now, Sai?
yes, yes. So is it visible? Is my ingredients visible?
Yes, your ingredients are quite visible. If you can walk us through what they are and what you're going to make, that would be lovely.
Okay, is the light fine?
Light is also fine, yes.
Great. No, no, no. Okay, so I'm going to show you one dip. So
Okay.
this is very versatile. It's called as nut mayonnaise. So we don't have to go and buy any store-bought mayonnaise as such. Okay, so ingredients are, I have some soaked cashew paste, right? So I soaked the cashews yesterday night. Today morning, I just ground those with little water, so it becomes thick paste, and I have kept it out since morning. So you see it fermented, okay, kind of air bubbles. Since the cashew paste I have, then I have some steamed potatoes. If you make it complete raw mayonnaise, you can just skip potatoes. But I don't want to consume so many cashews, so I'm just going to add steamed potatoes. And I have some roasted red bell pepper just to give that color and taste to it. Okay, then I have some pepper powder, rock salt, and little lemon juice. So I'm just going to add everything to the blender and I'm going to blend it, and my cashew mayonnaise is ready.
And we can use any nuts we like, not just cashews.
Yes, any nuts. So you can use walnuts, you can use almonds.
Maybe even seeds, like sunflower seeds or something.
Yes, some people actually, there are some people who are allergic to all the nuts. Then they can use watermelon seeds, pumpkin seeds. Okay, I'm just going to add little water so it will get blended, and salt to taste. Little pepper powder. If you want to add any other herbs, even they give nice taste. And just a drop of, no, 2 teaspoons of lemon juice, right? And now I'm going to blend it. I'll just mute.
Yeah. While she's blending that and bringing that out, some of the questions have come up, which is very good. How much time does sunbathing need to be done? How do you manage all this while traveling? She'll definitely answer that. Does the 21-day class include yoga or just nature cure and a little bit of yoga? That's all a good question. Can fibroids get dissolved from this diet? Which pranayama before a meal? We talked about the which pranayama. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so can you see the color? It looks exactly like some pepper mayonnaise that we get, and it is very creamy. So now what you have to do is you just have to take it in a bowl and have it with lots of vegetables. So my dinner is started now. There are sweet potatoes, red capsicum, and carrots. You can have cucumbers, any types of raw veggies, and you can have it with this dip.
Amazing. Very nice, Sai.
Yeah.
You're going to show us one more?
Yes, I'm going to show you one more recipe.
And maybe while you're arranging one thing to think about, one of the questions is how do you manage all this while traveling? Because you can't really travel with all of this. So think about that when you're
Yeah. So actually, traveling is now very easy for me because it's just fruits for breakfast, and you get bananas everywhere, wherever you go, right? And you get cucumbers and tomatoes and coconut. So your two meals are sorted. What remains is the third meal, which is cooked meal. But nowadays we get idli, dosa. I mean, all the South Indian dishes are actually nature care compliant. We may not get unpolished rice, but it is very easy to have idli, sambar, dosa, puttu, and appam, and all that,
Yeah.
right? Food becomes actually simple when you are traveling because it's easy to get fruits and vegetables on the
Yeah.
go. So now I'm going to show you date laddus. These are my kids' favorite. I'm going to add fresh. Okay, so let me tell you, I have taken those soft dates you get, no? Soft kimia dates. And then you can take any, I have just de-seeded and mashed it with a spoon because they are soft. It's very easy to mash it. And then I have taken 1 cup of, this is peanut powder, roasted peanut powder, but you can take any nut of your choice. You can take walnuts or cashews or pistachios or sesame seeds. And then I also have fresh grated coconut. It just adds a lot of freshness to these laddus. And I'm going to add even little lemon juice. Instead of lemon juice, you can also add orange juice, right? So I'm just going to take everything in one bowl and make it into laddus. So soft de-seeded dates, peanut powder. Again, you don't have to worry about exact measurements. Okay, you can, if you don't like too much of sweetness, then you reduce the dates and fresh grated coconut. If you want to add some flavor to it, you can add cacao powder, cinnamon powder. I'm just going to knead it with my hands, okay, so that everything just gets together. And then you have to make balls. Now, because I have added fresh grated coconut, it may not stay long outside, right? Just for a few hours. But in the refrigerator, you can keep it for 2 to 3 days. If you want to store it little more, instead of fresh grated coconut, you use desiccated coconut. Or you can just skip coconut and use any other two nuts. Now let me tell you, it is little heavy on the nuts because I have peanut powder as well as coconut. So it will be good if we can control the portion size when we eat. But for the children, this is an excellent snack which my kids just pop in and this is completely.
Really blend the dates. Don't you think there will be pieces of the dates in the mouth, or does that work out? No problem.
No, Nitya, it is the soft dates. So there are no pieces actually. They just get with the hand also or spoon.
I see. Okay.
Okay, now just to make it interesting, if you take normal dates which are not soft, then you will have to blend it. Okay, so now I have, this is pistachio powder just to give color, and this is cacao powder, right? So I'm just going to roll these balls and keep it in a dish. So just take small quantity, roll it, and just roll it in you can even roll it in desiccated coconut. This is my typical Diwali snack when I have lots of friends over. I just make huge plate of it as a starter or whatever, and it just gets over very fast. And you can play around with the flavors also. Okay, so when you roll it, okay, this is a green color ball. So like this.
So no wonder your sessions are called clean eating with Sai, because you're obviously making everything very clean. I mean, I see no ingredient here that would not qualify as, a healthy item.
Yes, yes. So, in fact, actually, let me just tell it here. We are coming up with a cooking workshop online, especially for festivals. So, we have Malai Kofta and whatnot with my friend Dipali, who is a clean eating chef. That's happening on 18th of October if you are interested. So,
Fabulous. Right. Very, very nice. So this is very easy. Now, people have questions. Should we take any extra supplements on a whole food plant-based diet?
Yes, so on a whole food plant-based diet, if you find yourself deficient in B12 and vitamin D, let me tell you, it has nothing to do with plant-based diet nowadays. Anybody who is even non-vegetarians, even vegetarians who are consuming lots of dairy are getting deficient in B12, right? Because they have problem with the absorption. On plant-based, you may have problem with the quantity of B12 that you are getting. Then it's a good idea to take B12 supplements. And vitamin D also, if you're not exposing yourself to sun every day regularly, then you may have to go for vitamin D supplements as well. But vitamin D, because it is fat soluble, you have to be careful. Just don't go on taking it on your own without prescription. But vitamin B12 is water soluble, so you can take it as it is.
So that leads to the other question someone has asked, which is, how long do you sunbathe in a day? Sai, can you hear the question? How long do you sunbathe in a day?
So that depends on what time of the day I'm choosing to do sunbathing, right? The whole idea is direct touch, direct skin contact with the sun rays. Now, if I go morning 7:30, I may not feel heated up in 2 minutes, right? At least 7 to 8 minutes on one side. So I lie down on my back. I feel heated up, not like burning. Okay, it is just lightly heating, and then turn on other side. Again, I may take 8 to 10 minutes to heat up the backside of my body. But if you do that at 12 o'clock, 12 noon, when sun is very harsh, then that heating may happen in a minute. Right? So it totally depends on what time of the day you are going for sunbathing. But it's very pleasant to go for sunbathing when it is close to sunrise or sunset.
Okay, understood. Wonderful. Now, somebody is asked, do fibroids also get dissolved when you follow Nature Cure?
I know a couple of cases where fibroids were dissolved, but again, that is what do you say? That is a result of so many other habits. So it's not only about food, but if you incorporate everything, then sure, you are just giving your body a chance to use its own intelligence, and you just have to keep practicing it till body shows the result. So definitely, it is possible.
Okay. Another good question is, how big a role does the diet have in muscular skeletal issues, and in brackets, due to accidental injuries, exercise injuries, long work hours, related neck pains, etc.?
The role of food?
Yeah.
I would say it is 1/4. Because examples you gave, no, excessive work hours, bad posture, right? So just by eating clean, even if you keep working late and if you are not going to sleep on time and not giving enough rest for your body to recuperate and do wear and tear in the night, and if you are keeping your neck in the wrong position and we are working on the laptop, clean food will not give you complete results. Okay, so you have to you have to go on changing all the other habits related to move right, rest right. And even if you are stressed, there is a lot of connection between our thoughts and how they are manifested in our physical problems, right? So they say if you are when you get angry, when your face get angry, even the stomach lining gets angry. I'm just giving you an example to understand that even how thoughts are going to change the whatever, help you recover from those problems which are at body.
So the answer to that is, food is a component, but only when married with the other components of a thing like Nature Cure can you really see the full result, possibly. Okay. So the 21-day class, does that include yoga, or is it just Nature Cure and a little bit of yoga?
No, 21-day class, you get 15 live yoga classes as a part of 21-day, Monday to Friday. Every day, 1 hour of yoga class, where we do 3 hours, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, physical yoga, which is important for move right, moving the lymphatic nodes and expelling the toxins. And 2 days, Tuesday, Thursday, are dedicated for non-physical yoga, which works on rest right. So non-physical yoga means we do yin yoga, yoga nidra, pranayam, exclusive class on pranayam, and we practice Tratak. So that happens 2 times a day, twice a week. So total 6 sessions of non-physical yoga.
Very nice. Can you actually share how people can reach out to register to your classes, just so that
Yes, so
everybody...
yeah, you just have to go to my website www.cewithsai.com, CEWITHSAEE.com, and there under program section you will find all these programs listed. If you want to join only the yoga classes, that option is also available under Move Right, or you want 21 day, then you have Live Right under that, or 7-day Kickstart Clean Eating, then Eat Right. So you will find it on my website.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So any other questions that people have? Have I missed anything?
There were some questions sent to me privately. Let me just see if I can.
Yeah, there's one more. Please throw some light on. How does adapting to all the food habits work for a family from a financial perspective? There are lots of prepared foods in shops and packaged foods being available cheaper. We believe the health benefits of adapting to this will outperform the cost factor.
So I think Manoj has asked, right? So Manoj, when I was talking about whole food plant-based diet, you may be including a lot of nuts in your diet, because you are just replacing your milk with nut milk and curd with nut curd and cheese with nut cheese. At that time, you may feel like I'm spending a lot on the nuts. Other than that, there is no extra cost when you are, but then you're not using your oils and you're not using dairy, butter, cheese, and all those things. So actually, there is not much difference when it is whole food plant-based diet and the normal vegetarian or non-vegetarian diet. But when you are talking about nature cure diet, it is for sure it is cheaper. See, you are getting, I actually had a video which I did not post ever, but I had made the video of comparing the cost of my breakfast meal and dinner versus my earlier food, and it was much more cheaper. Just imagine your breakfast is bananas, 6 to 7 bananas. Your dinner is cucumber, tomato, coconut, and your lunch is just unpolished rice, grains, and vegetables. How much do you think it will increase? So definitely it is cost effective. Nature cure practices is what I feel.
Yeah. And I think there's also, you miss the component of medical care that you avoid by eating right like this, because otherwise the loss from just a loss of energy, loss from days outside of work or any, because I noticed that we now have a different pandemic going on outside of the corona, which is things like diabetes and BP, and people just seem to have a prescription medication in their 30s and 40s. What about all that cost? I think there is that aspect also.
Very true, Nitya. I just forgot about it, but that is the biggest cost which you are going to save. You are not going to see the doctor unless it is very urgent and some other type of problem. Yeah.
Now, one of the questions is, will PCOS be improved from Nature Cure?
Definitely. I mean, even in the allopathy doctors for PCOS nowadays, they don't have any cure. They have certain hormone therapy, and or they have some steroids or some pills. But they also stress upon mindful eating and don't taking stress and moving right and losing weight, all that, right? So you don't have to take any medication to follow nature cure, because no practice in nature cure can harm you. That is the beauty of nature cure. Sunbathing cannot harm you. Pranayam cannot create any side effect. Eating right, there are no side effects. Whereas if you see all other medicines, there is only, I mean, each medicine has a side effect, right? So definitely these hormonal issues, which can be caused mainly due to stress or mainly due to wrong lifestyle habits, you just have to go on working on your habits, and the problem will resolve for sure.
So to the person asking the question, I think the question specifically was whole food plant-based diet, can that help cure PCOS? And I think the answer to that Sai has given is that for any disease, the food component, of course, it's an important and key component, but it's only 1/5 of the component. Really, the rest of the components also add up. So it's possible that just switching to whole food plant-based diet can help you cure PCOS. But that's also assuming that you're doing a few other things right, like moving right, eating right, thinking right, etc., sunbathing, etc., so that other factors are easier. Yes, we will share her website on this. Rashi, if you can post her website directly on the chat to everyone, that will be nice. And we will also post the recipes shortly, so you can screenshot shortly, take a screenshot. One of the questions coming up is plant-based substitutes often contain nut milk. Is it okay to use nut milk as a substitute at all or only occasionally? And how many nuts should one eat per day on an average?
Yes. So let us understand what are nuts, right? Nuts are powerhouse of protein, and then of course carbohydrate. Now protein is something which if we don't use, it is going to cause a lot of side effects. Okay, it is going to load our kidneys if we eat difficult to digest protein. Now nuts are not so difficult as compared to animal protein, but if you are not using it means if you don't have a very rigorous workout schedule, say if you want to build muscles, for muscle building you need extra protein, right? In that case it's okay to have handful of nuts every day, but that also try to have mono type of nut. Don't just go on combining walnut, almond, cashews. I'm telling you from the point of gut health, right? So if you don't want to load your gut with digestion problems, you can have one type of nut. If you cannot digest nuts, it's going to cause other problems. So you can even soak nuts and sprout nuts. If you have any digestive issues, the sprouted nuts will be much more easier on your gut. 8 to 10 a day is perfectly okay to consume if you are into some sort of physical activity. But if you have digestive issues, if you have gut health issues, if you are not working out, if you want to lose weight, then you don't need any nuts. So nut milk is just because our taste buds are addicted to some type of milk. Yeah, you can go for that once in a while, occasionally. Coconut milk is the best amongst all the nuts when compared to the digestion load on the gut.
Okay, and coconut milk, when you say that, you mean home blended, right? Not the store-bought one.
Yes, homemade coconut milk. It just takes 10 minutes and maybe lesser than that. If you have ready a grated coconut with you, you just have to pour warm water, give a nice grind in the mixer and strain it. And whatever you get is the first batch of coconut milk. So if you can make it at home, that is great.
Wonderful. If you can share the on the screen, Ruchika or Rashi, so that you can post the pictures of the recipes, then people can all take screenshots. And while that is underway, let's see if more questions have come up. Yes, more questions have come up. No, this is it. Any other questions that people have while we put up her website as well as the recipes? Does eating rice daily increase the weight?
Does eating daily increase
rice?
Rice. Okay. No. The answer is no. If you are going for unpolished rice, I'm not talking about brown rice, red rice, black rice here. Your rice can be very well of white color or white color, but it has to be unpolished. That means you are consuming carbohydrates with the fiber. When you consume carb with fiber, you are achieving two things. The fiber is not going to get digested in your stomach, so you are going to feel full for longer and you won't feel like eating multiple times, right? And the second thing is because you are consuming unpolished rice with the fiber, it is going to add less demand on the insulin. Because if you are eating white rice, the demand on insulin goes up, and insulin is anabolic hormone. That means it can promote the growth. It won't promote the fat loss, right? So no to white rice, yes to unpolished rice in the given proportion: 1/4 grains, 1/4 legumes, 1/4 cooked or steamed vegetables, 1/4 raw vegetables.
And I think one of the key things you have taught me, Sai, is that if you are, the proportion is very key. So if you are eating the whole grain and it is 1/4 of your plate and you want more grain, you can only bring it back in the same proportion that you added the other items on your plate. So you can't cheat and just go get more grain while eating the same amount of dal and vegetables, cooked and
True.
uncooked. Yes.
True. Right. Yeah.
So one question. So Sai, you are saying no dairy products at all. Example, milk or curd.
No dairy products because there are better foods to get our protein and calcium from, right? Why to go for something which has a lot of hormones, which is going to load our digestive system and which is not made for us. Dairy is made for the calves, right? We drink our milk, our quota of milk from our mothers, and then nutritionally we really don't need it.
Okay, wonderful. So Sai's details are put up now. So please, can you take a screenshot of this? She has a whole bunch of movies, books, Facebook group. Our recommendation for a movie to watch is The Game Changers. A book to read can be How Not to Die. And there are probably other nature cure books also that you recommend, Sai.
Yes, so it's not here, it's not listed here. There is a book called Practical Nature Cure, but you can start reading about it. But my recommendation would be to attend a 7-day camp because that is totally a different experience for you. Of course, in my 21 days, you will learn the glimpses and the basic concepts. But unless you go there and follow the lifestyle totally from morning to night, you won't get in the, the essence of what nature cure is. So such camps I would recommend is Dr. Arun Sharma. Just search, just Google, and you will get a lot of camps that he conducts every month. Yeah, across India. The one is going to happen in Hyderabad, and last week it was Chennai. So yeah, you can search for the camps if you can go and attend. If not, Practical Nature Cure book. If you can get, it is quite a thick and big book. You will get a lot of information.
Yeah. So somebody is asking again for the website. You can see it on the screen right now. There is a screen share going on, and you're supposed to take a screenshot of the screen. I'm going to read out the website once again, just for people that may not be somehow able to see this. It is CE with, which is WITH, SAE, SAE.com. Okay. One more question. What about probiotics on a nature cure or plant-based diet?
Yes. So what are probiotics? Probiotics are nothing but healthy bacteria which you consume directly to take care of your gut health, right? What is prebiotic? Prebiotic is food for that healthy bacteria. So instead of going for probiotic, you can get probiotic through a lot of fermented vegetables and drinks and all that. But you don't have to go for that because you are consuming a lot of prebiotic already through fiber. So all this food that we are consuming, say it fruit, say it vegetable, say it cooked meal, which has unpolished grains, with chilka dal, without peeling vegetables, it is storehouse of prebiotics. And if you go on eating that, the fiber-full food, the need for probiotic really goes down. But if you are recovering from some gut-related infection, right, then you can have some probiotic like rice water or any of the probiotic, any of the fermented vegetable. Otherwise, if you have sound gut health, you really don't need any probiotic on a regular basis. Then just the food with fiber is going to make sure that your gut flora is flourishing.
Wonderful. And if you can show the recipes now, we can take a look at the recipes and take a screenshot if you have it. Rashi, will you be putting that up?
Yes, I just observed the recipe which I have sent. There is no potato. So if you feel like too many cashews you don't want to consume, please add any starchy soft veggie like sweet potato, which will not add any taste to that dip, but which will reduce your cashews.
Okay, very nice. So if the screen is up, if you all can please take a screenshot of this date balls recipe. So the video will be up next week on YouTube on the other one. And if you subscribe to the other one, you will get an update on all the future videos. The other one, the only objective is to bring gems like Sai to everybody so that we can all just collectively learn and improve. There's really no profit or any other business angle to this entire exercise. So feel free to subscribe. It will not be spamming you, nor will you be getting too many videos to watch. I think many of us who've been on this journey just have a deep passion to share this. The next one is cashew mayo. I mean, that looks attractive. I've got to say, Sai. Is this a lot of work? All this chopping up and everything, or is it actually less work, Sai?
Now, if you ask me, I feel it is no work, you just have to chop the cucumber, carrot. You can use a food processor or whatever in order to chop. And I just soaked cashews yesterday. That was the only work, right? And I blended everything. As is with compared to if you want to make some starter, which is deep frying, pakoras, just imagine I feel it is a lot of work to deep fry anything or, a lot of processing is involved. This is processing. This is as near to nature as we can eat.
Wonderful.
In this picture, you can see there are two varieties of dips I am showing. One is white in color. I have not added red bell pepper. The second one, which has a roasted or a raw red bell pepper added to it, which has given it that color. Instead of that, you can make it green color dip also. Just add some mint leaves or basil. It will give the flavor also and the color also.
Amazing. How easy it can be. That's what is amazing. You're right. I mean, deep frying a pakoda, aside from the health issues we will get, we now have to also clean up all the grease and all of that. So thank you very much, Sai. Fantastic session. And I think we have a way to follow up also if we want to take this further. So all the people that want to take this further will reach out to you. Thank you very much for your time today, Sai. And
thank you, Nitya. It was amazing talking to you and sharing whatever I knew. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.